Awesome. I think we're all ready to go. Amazing. And just at the end of the song.
Perfect.
All right, how many folks do we got? We have 30. We'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes. Oh, this is a good song. I'm tempted to let it play out. Where is everyone joining from today?
Where are you folks based? Stockholm, the Netherlands, Hoorn, I see, nice. Amsterdam.
Hello.
Toronto, nice.
All
Nice to
right.
meet you, Costa. How are you? What are you working on this session?
Yeah, I'm working on a software project and I'm just slowly reading documents.
Solid.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nice.
quite the
I love the
footprint.
mix. And we also have a special guest from San Francisco today, but I'm going to do the reveal later. So stay tuned.
Perfect. What do you think, Sada? Should we just get started? We have a lot to cover today in the kickoff.
Yeah. I think we can start indeed.
We can get started. All righty. Well, I will attempt the slow fade of the music. Hold on. All right.
Nice.
Not too bad.
Great. Very smooth.
Perfect. Well, welcome everyone to the SheSharp Reaktor Hackathon 2023 kickoff. This event has been months in the planning and the making, so we are so excited to finally kick this thing off and just have everyone participate in this lovely 24 hours of coding and community. So yes, we are here in the kickoff. What we'll cover today, this will kind of be your crash course as to what to expect for the hackathon, right? So we'll do a quick overview of SheSharp and Reaktor, the two organizations who are driving this event. We'll do a recap of the schedule. There have been a lot of questions around, the 24-hour period. When do people get to sleep? Please sleep. We'll get to that in a moment. Also, where you can find support, whether you're a remote participant, an on-site participant, we have mentors for you, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Then we'll jump over to Sada to reveal the Hackathon Challenge. Very exciting. And yeah, she'll talk about what we'll be working on, what resources are available to you to jumpstart your project, and also what the submission guidelines are to be eligible for one of the many lucrative prizes you can win as part of this hackathon. If everyone could mute their microphone, that would be great, just so that we can have a smooth experience for everyone.
Alex, can I open a small parenthesis? Is it possible to disable the sound that I hear when people join the meeting? Because I don't know if it's possible.
I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, probably, but it's gonna be one of those things where I have to fiddle in the settings, and I'd rather.
No problem.
Yeah, but good call for the finals. I will definitely do that for them. Cool. And as I see a lot of you have already discovered, there is a Zoom chat. So please use that throughout the presentation. If you have any questions, we have our organizers monitoring that. And we'll have a Q&A session at the end as well. Awesome. So first, to introduce you all to SheSharp, if you haven't heard of us, SheSharp is a nonprofit based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And our mission is to make it easier for all women and non-binary people to enter, stay, and grow in the tech industry. And we've been doing this for about 5 years and grown substantially since then, starting as like a small in-person community growing to online during COVID, and then now supporting this global community both in Amsterdam and around the world. The main way that we fulfill our mission is through these 3 pillars. So the first is events, like the one you're at today. So we have kind of our large signature events like hackathons, career fairs, etc. We have smaller events that take place in Amsterdam and sometimes remote as well on certain topics. So do join our Slack or our meetup to be informed of upcoming events. We also have programs. So a bunch of you might have seen our New in Tech Scholarship that we run twice a year, where we give out funds to go towards education for folks who are trying to break into the tech industry. We also have our really popular mentorship program that pairs, folks who are in the industry to other folks who are in the industry to help them grow. And yeah, we also have Meet with a Recruiter, all sorts of stuff. And then finally, our community, which is really kind of the underpinning of everything that we do. So we have our Slack community that you can join, or hopefully already in, SheSharp.co/Slack. And you can connect, network, etc., with people who are underrepresented or allies in the industry. And now I'm going to pass it very quickly to Sasha from Reaktor to talk about Reaktor. Are you on, Sasha? Maybe not.
Plot twist.
She here. All right. No, that's fine. I'm happy to talk about Reaktor as well. So Reaktor is our main sponsor for the event, and they've also really been amazing co-organizers. So they are a global digital tech consultancy. They have offices all over the world, but the one that will be hosted in tomorrow is their Amsterdam office. And they do all sorts of things like, they create websites, digital products for folks. They help, modernize existing architecture. They help with brand and marketing. Essentially any technical need that your company might have, Reaktor has folks to help you. So huge, really massive kudos to Reaktor for their sponsorship of this event. It is fancy AF because of them. So thank you, Reaktor.
Yeah, very beautiful office. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So just to dive in a little bit into the logistical side of the hackathon. So the hackathon is spread over 2 days. The first is Friday, today, the 9th. The second is tomorrow. So today is a relatively easy day. We're having the kickoff. We are indeed here. And then it's really just meant as a time after this to connect with your teams. If you're working on a team, absorb the challenge, understand what you want to do over the next 24 hours, what project you want to build. Also your time to connect with mentors and really set yourself up for success for Saturday. And I say set yourself up for success because please do not spend the next 24 hours glued to a screen. We really believe in heart and balance here at SheSharp and building with care, self-care. So please find some time to sleep tonight. It's 24 hours to accommodate, different time zones, different obligations that people have if they're working parents, etc. So we are not expecting anyone to spend the next 24 hours hacking away on a project. So just want to set that expectation for everyone coming in. Excellent. And then we also have tomorrow. And tomorrow there's a lot more going on. And before I get into the schedule, you'll see those QR codes at the top of the screen. You can scan those and go straight to this schedule and add it to your Google Calendar if you need to. That's probably the best way to stay on top of what's happening. But to cater to both our on-site and remote participants, we have a whole host of activities. So if you're joining us on-site tomorrow, doors open at 8:30. And we'll have opening remarks at 9, as well as lunch and wellness in the afternoon. Then for both in-person and remote participants, we will have an office hour, and there will be 2 separate sessions depending on whether you're joining us remotely or in the office. And that's your chance to synchronously connect with a mentor and other participants, good peer learning, ask questions, debug in public. We did this for our last hackathon, and it was really great to like hear what people are working on, even get quick demos and all of that. So we hope you join us for that. Then the big deadline. Projects are due at 6 p.m. Central European time. So make sure that you get your projects submitted, and Sada will talk a little bit later about what that entails. If you haven't submitted your project by then, you'll unfortunately be ineligible for some of our prizes, though of course, like, please continue to feel like you can develop your projects after the fact. Just whatever is there at 6 p.m. is what we'll consider for development or for judgment. And then in that buffer zone, while organizers are hard at work trying to go through all the amazing projects that y'all will submit, we'll have lightning talks from some of our community members, topics like accessibility and web, introduction to data engineering, static site development, which is really great. We'll also have community voting. So one of our prize categories is community voting. More on that later. So please take a look at all the projects yourself and pick your favorites. And then our last event, the closing ceremony, and that'll be similar to this. We'll all get together on site, off site, or remote, etc., and just celebrate all of the great work that we've done. And we'll close that out with some networking so that y'all can meet more members of the community. So yes, lots of useful links. I rediscovered the beauty of redirects during setting this up. So everything should be pretty clear. So we have our calendar and Zoom link. So it's shesharp.co/hackathon2-2023/schedule/Zoom for both of those things. Although I assume that you know, y'all will be, you've already found the Zoom link, so it's all good. We'll be staying in this room the whole 24 hours. For those of us who are joining on site, this is the address for the office. Please note, if you put Reaktor into Google Maps, it will take you to the front entrance. We are entering via the back. So this is the correct address. We'll also have someone in the front to like guide you in case you're lost. But if you are standing outside of a door and no one is there, you're probably on the front. Please ring the bell or email info@shesharp.co or contact us in Slack, and we'll make sure you get in. And then if someone can mute, thank you. Great. And so speaking of ways to reach us, we are going to be in our Hackathon Slack channel for the duration of the event. You know, we'll have announcements, we'll have polls and quizzes, little fun games, also some peer mentoring and community building, which is important for organization. And then I already mentioned the office hour as well, if you need to connect with someone synchronously. We also have templates for you to use to kickstart your project. So we have a project planning template and coding boilerplates, which are tailored to the challenge and to the hackathon itself. So especially if you're working on a team, please, you know, use the project planning template to keep y'all on track. And of course, the boilerplates are there to just, you know, get you from 0 to hero as fast as possible. You're welcome to use them. You're welcome to create your own, choose your own adventure. And these are our mentors. So thank you so much to these lovely individuals who have, you know, volunteered their time this weekend to help us grow. They're all like, you know, mid to senior or beyond engineers in their fields, ranging from back end, front end, data, what have you. So it's really amazing to have such a strong group of people guiding our participants this year. Thank you to the mentors. And also to the organizers. So these are the folks who have been working for the last 2 to 3 months to make this event a reality. You'll see our names cropping up in various places. Just, you know, now you have a face to the names and you'll be seeing us for the 24 hours. All right, Sara. Go for it.
So, are you ready? Are you ready for the reveal? Drum roll, yes, I see somebody say. Okay, Alex, do you mind sharing the screen and then I will maybe make a note? All right, so next slide. So the goal of this hackathon will be to unleash your creativity and build something amazing with job posting data and APIs. So we want to explore together with our community the potential of job posting data and APIs so that our community and ourselves can craft something creative and empowering, a project, something that can be useful for you, but also to other people. And as part of this hackathon coding jam or challenge, we will give you participants or the hackathon participants access to job posting APIs and data from company worldwide. So during, the reason why we think that this goal is important is because sometimes finding job openings that align to somebody's criteria can be sometimes a frustrating experience for some of our community members, especially if you're looking for remote options, part-time options, entry-level positions. I heard many times some folks say, oh, sometimes it's difficult to find job postings, job roles that are entry-level friendly or friendly to somebody who is junior, or I want to find easily job roles that are specific to job openings, that are specific to a specific market or to a specific seniority or remote options. So we want to use this topic, which is very actual, also in thinking about the current job market and economy. It's something that would be useful also for you potentially. So a project that will bring, it's a win-win, let's say. So next slide. And is job posting data. The job posting data and APIs that will be used during the hackathon is kindly provided by SourceStack. And I want to give the stage to Alec to introduce himself and maybe talk a bit about introduce SourceStack as well. I think Alex was in the
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for the introduction. Glad to be here. Glad to be a very small part of this whole production. I'm founder of SourceStack. We've been aggregating data on businesses for several years now. This is the first hackathon that we've sponsored, so I'm very glad to be a part of this. I was actually a self-taught engineer 7, 8, 9 years ago, so this is very close to my heart, and I'm very excited to see what you all build. Just a small note, if you run into any problems, we have error messages, we have docs, but you can also reach out to me as well and say, hey, Alec, I've had some problems here. Can you give me a hand? And I'll see what I can do. But awesome. Very excited to see what everyone builds today.
Thank you so much, Alec. Thank you so much. And yeah, Alec, you're based in San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's early morning for him now, I guess, or sometime in the morning. So thank you for this. Yeah, so next slide. Yes, project ideas. So when I mentioned before, unleash your creativity. We thought about some ideas that you can implement around these job APIs, job posting APIs, open roles, and you could potentially create a front-end website, front-end only, that uses this data, displays this data, and does something with this data. or you can build something like a Slack bot, something that uses the API, queries a random job post and then posted it on Slack, on a Slack channel. This is also something you could do. Or you could use the data that is provided by SourceStack to perform some data analysis. So you could identify, for instance, what are the job trends that are most relevant to my job search or the community or the SheSharp community member job search, or is there any specific type of company that is hiring at the moment? So any sort of useful insights that would be interesting for you and for others in this context. But so I gave 3 ideas. So a front-end idea, a back-end idea, and a data analysis idea. We want you to be creative. So if you don't like anything that I mentioned now, you can choose your own adventure. Feel free to unleash your creativity, surprise us if you want. So there is really no like you can choose whatever you want, and feel free to surprise us if you wish. So next slide. So I will share later the link of everything you need to know around the challenge. But something that is important for you to know is that we wanted to make this challenge, so using the sources APIs, as easy as possible. So we wanted to onboard people who are also junior or have less tenure in the industry in a way that they can complete a project. Which is why in the challenge portal, which will be shared later, you can find all this documentation links to all the SourceStack APIs, all the API reference. There is also a SourceStack Postman collection. But I also created on top of this an Hackathon Postman collection, which uses some example of SourceStack APIs that you can download and you can use to perform operations and to test the APIs by itself. So this should make it easier for you to understand how to use the APIs on top of all the already existing SourceStack documentation links and API reference and so on. Next slide. API keys and credentials. So there is a question in the chat from Juliet. Thanks for asking. How do we manage? So what would be the license for our creation with their API? There is a so around this. So if the question is around the API key, I'm going to share the API key privately to each of you via email today. I think in 1 hour and a half. Within 1 hour and a half, you should get the API. If the question is about GitHub license, then maybe Alec, maybe you can share more about the how do you say the terms?
So yeah, for the duration of the hackathon, it is effectively MIT licensed. We ask that if you have a commercial use in mind, please just send me a note before you publish. Generally, we're fine with it, but if the commercial use is, say, hey, I want to start a competitor to SourceStack, we'd like to know that beforehand. But generally, feel free to do what you would like.
Okay, thank you. All right, hope that this was answered because my yeah, I'm afraid that we shatter some dreams here, but I'm just joking, of course. Okay, so you should receive in an hour and a half, within a 1 hour and a half. So today at 7 p.m. Central European Time, the API key that you can use to test or to use in your projects. Please do not commit your API key in the code, and please do not also commit SourceStack data within the code. But you can. There are the guidelines will be all described into the challenge portal. But yeah, please don't share credentials in your code. Be careful around this. Next slide. So how do I submit my project? Let's say that you're ready sometime tomorrow to submit your project. You can submit your project using the form in this URL. This URL is also part of the Hackathon portal page, the challenge page. And yeah, so this is a form. one requirement for this, for be eligible to win a prize, is that we need to be able to see the code and the authors of the code. So if you submit, when you submit the code repository, make sure that the code repository is public and we can see and check out the code that you implemented. And also, we would like to be able to see the project itself. And the UI or the UX depends on the type of project that you build. So in case of a front-end project, we would like to be able to have an URL that allows us to see the front-end project that you created. If you created a Slackbot API, then we would love to see the Slackbot in action with our eyes. And this is also, the information around this is also shared in the Notion page that will be shared later. But yeah, so if this is like data analysis project, we would like also to see the outcome of this analysis in a form of like documentation on images, like something that we can see what was the outcome. GitHub Markdown README can be an acceptable use case, for example, in that case. So next slide, please. Okay, so I mentioned this famous Coding Jam portal many times until now. This portal is essentially a Notion page that you can find in this URL below. But essentially, it contains the recap of the goal that I already mentioned, the project ideas that you can follow if you want, or if you don't want, you can use your own. How to use the source stack APIs, so more like the links to the documentation, and also the link to download the Postman URL, how to get the API key, which is essentially a reference to the email that I will send in 1 hour or so, and the project submission requirements, how to submit a project, code boilerplates, everything is here. So this is the URL that you can use to get this information. Any questions so far? Let me see. I think that's good. Yeah, thank you so much. And that's all. This is the challenge. We hope that you build something cool. We love to see what you can come up with. And we hope that you also have fun along the way. And that's all. Do you have any question? Oh, yes. By the way, it's not over. I forgot about the prizes. Yeah, so the prizes. We have, let's say, 5 categories. 1 second, I'm moving the chat. We have 5 categories. We have most creative, most polished, best individual, best team, and community favorites. And we have a mix of prizes between cash and also gadgets, as you can see. And I want to highlight that even if you're part of a team, it doesn't matter if you're part of a team or individual, you have the opportunity to win regardless. And you have a possibility to win if you, let's say, have something that is creative, or let's say that has the best code in case of the most polished category. But also we will have a voting from the community with the community favorite prize as well. So this is an overview of the prizes. And everything you need to know is in this URL that will also reference the challenge portal as well. So this page contains everything, the schedule, the location, the Zoom links, what is like the requirements, where I can submit my code, and the challenge goal and everything. So this is something that, this is the bookmark that you should write down as part of this hackathon.
And it is also bookmarked in the Slack channel as well. So yes, this will be your one-stop shop, as Sada said.
Yes. So now it's time to get the project started. I would suggest that you go through the participant portal. I know that there is a temptation to skip and to read very fast. My suggestion is take the time before you start doing anything to just go through the Notion pages, the portal for the general hackathon information, plus the page that is related to the channel that I shared before. Make sure that you take the time to read. And if you have any question, feel free also ask to us later. But now is the time to ask any more question if you have anything else that you want to ask. So there is a question, can I still find teammates? I think my understanding is that the teams are finalized. Alex, is that correct?
They are finalized on our end. That said, if you want to pop into Slack and find another solo participant or find another team that's willing, that has the room to take another person on, feel free to. We are maxing teams out at 4 participants, so just keep that in mind. If you already are on a team of 4, that will be considered complete. But if you're on a team of 2 to 3 and you feel like you're eager and ready to take someone else on, yeah, Slack would be the way to do that.
So
and that's similar to Yasmir's question. Yeah, exactly. So some are pairs, some are 3 or 4 people, but no team is above 4 people. And then of course we have our many solo participants as well. I can keep answering all the team member questions. Yes, I feel like I'm on a roll there. So yeah, so if some team members are no-shows or whatever, please message us at info@shesharp.co so we can be aware, especially if they're coming on site. It'll be important for us to keep track of those numbers. Again, if at this point, we'll try our best to help you find a new team, but Slack is probably the best way to see, who is available and who has the bandwidth to take on another team member.
Yes, there is a question about the mentorship support during the hackathon. Okay, so let me actually check. So there is many ways in which you will be able to get mentorship throughout this hackathon. So you can ask questions on Slack. My understanding is that there are we showed a slide before where we have all the mentors available. And by the way, these mentors have a mixed expertise of front-end, back-end, and data analysis. Warranted, so you are also able to be supported into these different expertises. If you're part of a team, you should have an assigned mentor, I think. Alex, maybe you can clarify the mentorship mapping a bit?
Yep, so every team has an assigned mentor, and you'll have already received that information in your participants packet. For solo participants, that will be coordinated through Slack ad hoc, because we don't know yet what your project will look like. So feel free to ping any of the mentors in the hackathon channel. We've provided a list of the mentors and their domains of expertise, if you need to reach mentors in a specific domain. But honestly, just dropping your question into the chat in Slack, one of us will see it and will respond and get you the help that you need.
All right, any other questions? There is also another thing that I wanted to talk about mentorship. When we ran the hackathon last time, we also did the office hours. For those who are not familiar with the concept of office hours, it is like a space, like a call, and that will be both in the Reaktor office and also online, where some of the mentors will be available to get some questions that would come from participants that maybe are related to some technicalities of their projects. They want to be unblocked and so on. So you can ask this question, by the way, all the time to your assigned mentors or in the hackathon channel. But if you want, there is also a dedicated session that we dedicate only around these questions. And you can find the details around the office hours in the schedule, in the Notion page. So the Zoom link and the time as well. So last time we did the office hours and we got a lot of, we helped a lot of people. So I think this could be a nice way to maybe get you direct contact to one of the mentors. Yeah. Hope that answers your question. Let me see.
I think we're good from chat. Beyond a nice thing to build where you can mainly code in C, but I'm going to pass that off to our mentor, Mike, who knows much more about C than I do. Yeah, any other questions from the audience if they want to speak up? We good?
All right, so I see you on Slack, and if you come on site in the Reaktor office, I see you tomorrow morning at the breakfast, and let's get started.
Hey yo. See y'all on Slack, everyone.
There is one last question from Juliet. Can we use this API couple with another? Yes, feel free to use anything else. In the challenge page, I provided some example of some technologies like GitHub pages, or in the boilerplates, you will see, like, for instance, Gitbot or other APIs. I use Slack as a reference, but you should be able to use whatever other extra API as you want. Feel free to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. All righty. Consider us kicked off. See y'all in the Hackathon channel and Slack.
Yeah, see you. Bye-bye.